What's up, family? What's going on with everybody? Y'all see me? I forgot to get my lip gloss on, y'all. Oh, Jesus. We apologize. Your girl has to get the lip gloss together because that's part of the look that needs to be present. And I can't do without it. I can't. Just can't. Okay. Lip gloss. All right, family. What's up with everybody? It's good to see each and every one of you guys. It's been a day, you guys. I ain't gonna lie to you, but God is good. God is sovereign. God is good and God is sovereign. What's going on with everyone? How's everybody doing? What is up? What is up? What is going on with everyone? How's everyone doing, family? Family. I am excited to see you guys today. And you guys know that we have one show today and then we'll have a show tomorrow. So be sure to tune in. We have two great shows. Today I have like two different things that I'm definitely going to cover today. And I'm really excited to do that with you guys. If you notice, I've got my microphone back. Thank you, Jesus. Haven't had it for a couple weeks because I thought it was broken. But today I had time to troubleshoot it. So I got the microphone back. Thank you, God. But I am excited to see you guys. I'm very, very, is like I said, it's been a day, it's been a day. I've been, dealing with some things, but at the end of the day, it's always good to see y'all. Okay. It's always good to see you guys. It's always good, to have this energy with y'all. So let me see who's here in the chat with me. Let me say hi to my family, my Game Changer Nation. There's some things that happened over the weekend that I have to bring up. Okay. We gonna bring this thing up. So let me first say hi to my family. It's in the South, it's rude not to greet people. So we gotta greet my family. Tavares is in the chat. What's going on, sir? Kayshawn, talking about Hennessy. I don't drink Hennessy, y'all. Benji, Ty. What's up? What's up? What's up, Samantha Lee? It's you already know, y'all. It's my family in there. It's Amber, Tavares, Pam. Thank you, ma'am. We got Tribal in the building. Tribal, y'all. Shout out to Tribal. He'd be definitely messaging me and giving me ideas for content. I'm really grateful for him. Who else? Jason, what's up? Fun with cars too. I don't know who that is, but Rodney, what's up, Rodney Hodge? What's going on with you, sir? Danumis, Patrick, Hazards Play, Carlo. We seeing regular family members. Okay, you guys. So we seeing a lot of people. What's going on, Joy? What's going on, Blue? What's going on, Clifford? What's going on, everybody? What's up, Jason? And so, guys, I have to tell you guys, which is amazing to me. I have to bring it up to you guys. Something happened over this weekend that I need to really bring up to the Game Changer Nation, to my people. Did y'all see what happened with my whole platform? Did you see what happened? Did you guys see? Is this news for you guys? Here's what happened this weekend, family. We reached 300,000. Okay, we reached 300,000 subscribers. We reached that on Saturday, family. Saturday, we reached 300,000 subscribers. I mean, y'all, we have reached over 100 million views on YouTube. I started doing this. I started intentionally building my YouTube December 1st of 2022. We ain't even a year in, family, and we are 300,000 plus in. How is that possible? We still got 3 months left in the year, family. How is that even real? I can't even believe it. 300,000, and it's all because of you. It's all because of each one of you guys that have continued to support me despite the haters, despite what people got to say about me. You've decided to be one of them people who's like, you know what? Let me see what's going on with old girl. Let me see what's up with this little mixed girl on the internet. Let's see what she got to say. And I thank you guys for taking a chance on me. And I hope that I don't disappoint. So I'm really excited to see every single one. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, shorts definitely do work. I might have to actually put out a post about how I grew. I love you too, Jason. But YouTube promoted me. Okay, YouTube. Listen, you do what the algorithm look. Okay, algorithm. Keep pushing your girl. She gonna keep making content. Okay, I have the best shorts on YouTube. Well, I appreciate that. I would like my long form to grow a little bit more. So y'all got any suggestions on that? Let me know. But today, you guys, I'm not going to delay. We have intentional topics that we said that we were going to do and going to cover. And that was a short that I put out that I had my girl Sadia Khan, y'all, who I'm trying to get on the show. I actually asked her if she would do a show with me, and she said she's going to check into it. So we prayers up. We might have Sadia on here, but Sadia did a short, and I cover a lot of her stuff because I like her. Listen, I love beautiful women. Now, listen, Ina, I already got a YouTube plaque. I already got one. You get one when you get to 100,000. I'm waiting for my second. I'm waiting for my second one, which is like 1 million or something like that. First live chat was recommended by YouTube. Okay, turn up. Thank you, Fun with Cars. Thank you for starting the giving. Hello. Okay. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me go ahead and do my little banners or whatever. Because at the end of the day, you guys, it means a lot to me when you sew into me. Obviously, you know that this has been quite an interesting journey. It's been ups and downs in this YouTube journey. I've learned a lot in this time frame, things that I never thought I would learn. And so I am grateful for the journey, but it's definitely stretched me and it does take time. YouTubing is not easy. If you ever know, you see any of these YouTubers I have, even if they, hate on me, I listen. I love it. I love what they doing. I love what they got. I love what people have going on. And I'm not gonna be one of them channels that hate on other people to grow. I don't need to do that. I feel like God's word and love and light and having good conversations and it being healthy and productive is more important than hating on somebody else. That's not my style. Won't be my style. But 300,000 in. So I am very, very happy. Thank you guys for that. It is a lot of work, but I'm grateful for every person that sews into me and decides to not only, resources is one thing, but time. When you decide to take intentional time to show up at your girl's show and be here, it means a lot. Not a lot of people want to get on these lives now, y'all. We don't go from the Instagram space to here. You don't have the protection of a filter. So there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to do that. But hey, I'm good with it. Let's go. What's up, Canel? What's going on? What's going on? Ina, what's up? Bobby McHenry. We will see. We will see if I'm very careful about platforms that I go on. So you'll see that in the decisions that I make. Because I've been on platforms that weren't necessarily the best for me. And so Yeah. Yeah. So, we are going to go ahead into the first clip. Like I said, we are talking about a situation, a hidden trait, a variable that we all need to be aware of. Okay. This is something that we all need to pay attention to. This is something that's more pivotal than any type of toxic. You can watch NPD, Narcissist Anonymous. You can watch anything you want to watch. These signs right here, this thing right here is something that you need to pay attention to more than anything on the internet. Okay, so I'm gonna play this clip. 1 second. Mm, 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 mm. Share screen. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that this is shared correctly. I'm probably gonna do it like this, more or less. There we go. Or, well, yeah, because it's like I don't really like the fact that it's on Instagram. So, okay. So let's play the clip. I'm gonna go back, go forth. I might have to play it twice.
But I always say your competition is her childhood. If she had a chaotic childhood, you can give her and offer her the most stability there is to be found, but she will reject it. She will seek chaos and she will glorify chemistry. Whereas if you choose somebody who's had a stable upbringing, lots of love, when you give her love, she reciprocates it. But when you give it to somebody who's come from a broken home and a broken background, when you give her love, she then sabotages it. This is something men really underestimate when they're picking a partner. They look for whoever they like and they think that they can change a woman, and they think if they treat a woman well, if you court her correctly, she's all yours. But I always say your competition is her childhood. If she had a chaotic childhood, you can give her and offer her the most stability there is to be found, but she will reject it. She will seek chaos and she will glorify chemistry. Whereas if you choose somebody who's had a stable upbringing, lots of love, when you give her love, she reciprocates it. But when you give it to somebody who's come from a broken home and a broken background, when you give her love, she then sabotages it. This is something men really underestimate when.
Okay, so that I wanted to play it twice so that we made sure that we heard what she was saying. So she's basically saying, listen, men, this is what men underestimate. And I will also say, y'all, women underestimate this too. Women underestimate this too. Okay. And it's not only men. I think men do it a lot. Men will choose a woman. They don't care about what her background is. They don't care what her childhood is. Is she bad? Does she look good? Does she sound kind? Things like that. Um, just very superficial characteristics. Not realizing that childhood trauma and people that have not done intentional time to heal with childhood trauma, right? Those types of people can very much in the beginning, based upon adaptive traits that they learn from their disruptive childhood, they could be as charming as you want them to be. In fact, they'll be whoever you want them to be in order to get you. Y'all, in fact, the other day, I ain't gonna lie to you, there was somebody that was, I have to take my little phone thing off because it's acting up. I don't know what just happened. See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. There we go. There we go. I was just somebody was saying something to me. And I was like, oh, they're love bombing. Like I could just tell now. It's like, oh no, you don't know me, so you can't with good conscience really have this to say about me. But I know that people, a lot of times, what we don't understand, even about narcissism, is that it comes from broken childhoods. It comes from it comes from the need to perform and to look a certain way in order to be validated and accepted by outside people. Narcissism and narcissists are very big about public image. They don't want to be seen in a certain light. They don't want to be wrong. They don't, all these different variables, right? And so when we see that, a lot of times we go into, oh, they're evil, they're horrible, this, that, and the third. And a lot of times it can manifest in very evil behavior, right? But it comes from a traumatic childhood. All right. It comes from trauma. It comes from the whatever relationship that happened with that caregiver that has created a certain desire and need to be seen in a certain light, an obsession with being seen in a certain light, so much so that it does not matter who it costs me. It does not matter who I hurt or step on to get to where I'm going. I'm going there. And it can be as ruthless as it is. But because of whatever I've experienced in my childhood, I've now allowed those things to manifest into behavioral issues in my adulthood and sabotage relationships. So a lot of times, you guys, and this is my thing, everybody's, people can feel all kinds of ways. I don't come from the best of everything. Let's start there. I don't. I don't come from the best of everything. My childhood was not perfect, much like you guys. Y'all childhood probably wasn't perfect. My childhood wasn't perfect, right? We had parents that did the best they could with what they had. And maybe sometimes you could look back and say your parents didn't give you the best of everything. And that could be your honest perspective. But at the end of the day, your healing is your responsibility. Your healing is your responsibility. It is not another person's responsibility to deal with your bad behavior because you refuse to accost, to acknowledge, and even to accept what your childhood trauma has done in developing personality traits that have caused harm to other people. That is 100% on you. That is no one else's responsibility to tolerate abuse at another person. Because all you've done, if you come from a negative background, abusive background, let's say your mother was abusive, your father was abusive, there's an alcoholism, things like that, and then you go into the next relationship and you become the parent. You enact traits of the parent that harmed you the most. And then say, oh, well, you should deal with me. You should deal with me because I had a bad childhood. Oh, yeah. My childhood was bad. You hear people say that all the time. They got bad, oh, they treat you poorly. They talk down to you. They cheat on you. They disrespect you. They trigger happy, all these different things. When I say trigger happy, I mean they're easily triggered. And when they're easily triggered by situations and circumstances, you have to excuse it when they have a new trauma that they're now divulging on the other side of bad behavior to excuse what they've done. No, absolutely not. That is not your responsibility. You ain't nobody's therapist. You ain't nobody's God. You ain't nobody's therapist. And we've got a lot of people walking around broken, looking for someone to fix them without taking the intentional time and effort and sometimes the pain that goes with healing. It is no one's responsibility to deal with your bad behavior. You owe it to you to heal. You owe it to you, because Charles D just brought up a good point, sir, and we're going to talk about it. Therapy goes only so far. You may see some improvement in good times and bad times. They revert back to their old ways. Here's the thing, Charles, and I'll say this to anybody else. Like I said, I did not come from the best of childhoods. I did not come from the best of childhoods. Let's start there. I didn't. Okay? I have tendencies to enact in certain ways because of how I was raised. How many people in the chat have had a perfect childhood? I'll wait. Anybody have a perfect childhood? Put a 1 in the chat if you came from a perfect home. Let me see it. Put a 1 in the chat if you came from a perfect home. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Yes, I'm waiting. Oh, yes, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay, so look. Okay, so there's some people that said they had a perfect childhood. JV, JV says he had a perfect childhood. Big Dog says his childhood was good. Vaughn says he's looking at the front door. Sad Sigma says number one, he had a good childhood. Fuzzy Car said he had a good childhood. He had somebody said perfectly traumatizing. Somebody said that they come from a different kind of family. You know, wow, surprised that many. No one in the world had a perfect childhood. But you can say we had a good one. That's fine. No one's perfect. Therefore, I'm not, because I'm green and everybody else on here. My parents were good to me. Okay, my parents were good to me. They gave me the best that they could give me. But they're imperfect people, right? They're imperfect people. No one's going to do it perfectly. At the end of the day, when you think about your childhood and you think about the things that you've experienced, because we all come from different backgrounds and childhoods, there are certain tendencies you're going to have that come from your specific home, that come from your specific background. There are going to be sensitivities that you're going to have that I'm not. There's going to be certain things that you do that I don't. There's going to be certain ways and perspectives that you see things that I don't. And until you develop some type of a tolerance and some type of I want to say callous, but develop a certain level of understanding of self to where you are able to be faced with something that is familiar and maybe traumatic from childhood. And you are able to say, listen, my bad. You know what? I'm gonna let you know in this moment, this situation is very, it's tough for me to process. Let me take a beat. The way that I work this out with my therapist is to walk away. Let me walk away. Let me take a breath. And then we'll come back and have this conversation in a cooler time. That takes work. That takes understanding. That takes saying, listen, I've done intentional things to heal. And I've been very conscious about how I come across. Because I don't want to hurt someone else in the same way. And I don't want people that I love to run away from me because I haven't handled the things that I've experienced. It's not about avoiding people that don't, oh, well, this is sensitive, this is sensitive, this is sensitive. No. It's about being able to say, listen, I know that I have this thing and I've acknowledged it, whether it's through work, whatever type of work I've done. And I'm going to do the work so I don't put that on you, so that you are not at the mercy of my good moves, bad moves, ups and downs. I'm up one day, down one day. I'm dealing with all these other variables that I'm not really dealing with. That's no one's responsibility. That is no one's responsibility. And you can't outlove somebody's childhood. I'm going to say that again. You can't outlove somebody's childhood. You can't love them so much and love them so well that the things that they have experienced will no longer be null and void. And we got women and we got men that's like, you know what? If I love her so well, if I give her the best of everything, if I'm respectful towards her, maybe one day she'll change. Maybe one day she'll see that I'm not her enemy in this situation. Or you could say with another person, with a woman, with a man, or whatever partner you may have, whether, whatever that may be for you. With your partner, you may be saying to yourself, I know what I come with, and I'm responsible for my behavior. I'm responsible. And what we see in today's society, which sickens me, is that people would rather blame their past than to change their future. I would rather stay stuck in a cyclical, dysfunctional pattern rather than take accountability for what is mine and moving forward, doing the work so that I do not sabotage yet another relationship with someone that matters to me. That's why when you get into relationships with people and you're dealing with different people that come from a variety of backgrounds, y'all. We're dealing with a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. We have to be mindful of childhood. I mean, you just got to. And it's not so much if the childhood is bad or traumatic or this, that, and the third. What work have they done? What work have you done? Y'all, there's people that that'll write me, like I said, successful, got a lot going on for themselves. But if I look at their page and there's certain things on their page, certain ways they communicate, certain things that they do, I'm like, ooh, you haven't healed from something because you're running from something with the things that you're doing. I can see you got coping mechanisms all over the place. You distracting yourself with all different kinds of things, but instead of really dealing with what's really going on. There's only so long that we can allow people to use their childhoods as an excuse. You can't use your childhood as an excuse in your 40s and 50s. No. You decided to stay this way. Childhood happened, but you've made a decision that regardless of what has happened, I'm going to remain right here because it's more comfortable for me to stay in what I am familiar with, despite how unhealthy it may be. And y'all, it don't take going on a first date. You can look at somebody's page. You can look at somebody's page and see and have an idea of what kind of animal you might be dealing with. I'm being for real. You might look at somebody's page and you might say, you know what? They need a lot of attention. I got to look at that. They always like not sober. They always not sober. I don't know what that means. That must mean something. Mm-hmm. Although, you know what? They always got a new woman. They always dealing with somebody, like they got a lot of women that's running in and out their lives. Y'all, those types of things, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Or y'all, they come on real heavy with you. They coming on strong. They sending you text messages and calls and all this other stuff saying, oh, good. I'm happy. Grand Rising Queen. How are you today? Do you want to be with me today? I thought about you all last night. I dreamed about you. I did. I dreamed about you. I can't wait to see you again. What's going on? Are you tired? Are you tired? Because you've been running through my mind all day. Okay. And they going this strong. They going hot and heavy. Not the Grand Rising Queen. Grand Rising. How are you on this particular evening? How are you on this particular day? Grand Rising, my child. So beloved. I was praying last night and you came to my mind. I hope you're well. You know what? Oh, what's another one? What's another one, y'all? What's another one? Hold on. I really feel like, I know it's been a very short amount of time, but I really feel like you get me. Like we are so connected. Like, I just feel like you just understand me in ways that no one else does. I mean, there's just no way. Like my ex never got me this way. Y'all, these are red flags. And when someone comes on that strong and somebody has all these different things that they're doing in order to get you enthralled with them, these are people that have been broken. No, Amber, stop, bro. Stop. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to snort. Oh, she said I was meditating. She said I was meditating. I was meditating and you came to mind. Lord have mercy, Jesus. God have mercy, Lord Jesus. I cannot, y'all. Y'all are really Hold up. But again, these are things that we have to be aware of. Because if I feel like I have to come into conversations and I can't be myself, if I have to go so heavy and do so much, and I'm like in this performance or trying to put on the show, there's something broken within me, right? There's something broken within me. And so sometimes it's not so hard to point out when somebody's had some childhood issues or maybe some things that have happened in adulthood and relationships where they've now adopted personality traits that protects them from being hurt in that same way. Okay. And that might be lashing out. That might be love bombing. That might be different behaviors. And again, what I'm saying is that not everybody is a narcissist. Some people develop narcissistic traits because of their childhood. That doesn't make them, there's a spectrum when it comes to narcissism. There are full-blown people that have met the criteria and have been diagnosed as NPD. And then there's people that just have narcissistic traits because that's what's worked for them. Remember, we are all behavioral. Behavioralism is when I do something like when as children, for example, it's reinforcement and punishment, right? When I do something that is positive and in life and I'm reinforced for it, it's going to make me continue to do that behavior because I just got reinforcement. Or if I do something wrong and I get punishment for it, that's going to make me not want to do that behavior, right? That's behavioral. That's why when we're children, we put them in timeout, we take away the toy, grounding, all these different things. We're behavioral in nature. And so what adopts a lot of the things that we do and don't do is that in life, we are either reinforced or punished for different things that we've been and different ways we've gone about things. And so people will develop certain traits because it's worked. And that doesn't mean they're right and it doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just worked. And so their attachment to these broken behaviors, this attachment to broken behaviors is because it's worked. Now, you guys may or may not know, but I did therapy in jail and prison systems. I did that for a while. And a lot of times when you work with certain populations and I'm doing anger management in a prison, that's a harder task. Why? Because in that environment, having a docile personality or having a very meek personality does not serve you well. What serves you well is to be a hothead. What serves you well is to assert yourself and go off and show people that you should not mess with them. That's what works in that environment. Again, it's a coping. We learn different things in our life and how to become and how to be in relationships. And we as a people have to be wise enough, discerning enough, wise enough, discerning enough. What else? Wise, discerning. Oh, yes, and humble enough to say, listen, there's certain things that I'm not a perfect person. And so I can't be mad when somebody finds a flaw within me because I'm not perfect. And I can hold that now better than I used to. But a very, very broken version of me, which is my mid 20s, was everything that someone had to say, a critique that they had of me was like an assault, was like an assault on me. It was like you punching me in the stomach. And that was because of childhood. But this is the point. As I did my work, and as I grow and as I learn and as I become, and I've submitted myself to a process, not only in therapy, but with my God, I've now been able to not become perfect because I'm not perfect. I still got areas I have to grow in. I now am aware of the areas, and I can hold when someone has something to say about me. So if you don't necessarily agree with me or you don't necessarily see my perception in things, I don't take it as, oh, you've assaulted me. You got me. You got me. I can say, you know what? I probably wasn't right. I can apologize. I can very good at saying my bad. You know what? I'm wrong. I'm not perfect, but I can hold the weight of criticism. And I think that that's a mark of someone that's also dealt with childhood trauma, is that they can't really handle when people have something to say negative about them. They can't handle the criticism. They can't handle taking accountability. That's way too much. It's got to be somebody else's fault. It's got to be something else. It's always blame shifting to other variables. It may be the other person in the situation, or I may be blaming my childhood, saying I did that because my mother did this or my father did that. It's like, I'm not sitting in the seat of accountability. What happened to you is what happened to you. What you do with it is on you. And so a lot of people in this world, we have just not have made conscious decisions to stay the same. Conscious. I'm not going to go through my childhood trauma, but I am going to go through different traumas in my life. I've expressed that I've been sexually assaulted. And I was diagnosed with lupus, which was a whole nother set of trauma. Obviously, gone through different things relationally. Um, and just being homeless, going in and out of different things that I've had to work through. There's different things that have happened in my family. But there's different things that, like I said, there's just been so much has happened in my life. Different things that are traumatic for me. But what I had to do was sit in front of a therapist, and I had to walk through the trauma. I had to take accountability for what was mine. And I had to acknowledge that I am not in control of this world. I am not in control of what happens or what doesn't happen. Even on my best day, when I try to control every single variable and I try to do everything right, I'm still completely out of control. You can do everything right and it still not work out the way you want it to. That's just the mark of you not being in control. Life is going to be life, and I've become very, very comfortable with that. But in the past, because of trauma, I wanted to control all variables. I wanted to control every single variable and make sure that I, kind of did certain things in order to protect myself. And that's what people do. We end up building blockades that keep us from being hurt in the same way again. So if I've had a childhood that has felt very out of control, I will work very hard in my adulthood to always be in control to a degree that is unhealthy and suffocating to the people that are around you. So that's something that you have to work through and work on. And until you can say, hey, first, I got a problem. Hey, you know what? I acknowledge I could do a little work in this area. How can anyone actually do anything through you or in you? How can any change happen if you haven't first said, listen, let me take accountability for what's mine? Your childhood is not your fault. The things that you've experienced are not your fault. They're not. They're not your fault. How you now respond to those things is your responsibility. And at the end of the day, when we are dealing with people in our lives, whether it's men and whether it's women, we have to take into account their childhood, and not childhood in the sense of, oh, they had a bad childhood, I ain't gonna touch them. That's not what you should look at. What are they doing to work on it? It's one thing to say I've experienced trauma and it's been hard and I've cried and I've struggled and I've dealt. Okay, so what you doing to work on it? Now that you know these things, what have you done to actually do something about it? I'm not expecting perfect people. My barometer is not perfection. My barometer is, are you taking accountability for what is yours, and are you taking steps to work on it, or are you using it as an excuse to continue your bad behavior? That's the reality. Oh, I'm just controlling because my parents were controlling, and I'm controlling her. Oh, I do this because when I was young and okay, I honestly don't care what happened to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it happened to you. But now me having to suffer constantly because of things that you refuse to address, nah, Sam ain't doing that. Sam ain't doing that. Sam ain't doing that. We see Sloan in the chat. Got Sloan in the chat. We got Sloan in the chat today. Come on, y'all. We got Sloan in the chat. We got Sloan in the chat. We got Sloan in the chat today. What's up, Sloan? What's up, Sloan? Hope you like my song for you, Sloan. One day I'm gonna have like a little thing that I could like press a button and they do like a song or something. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so Sloan got something to say. Let's go, Sloan. My main woman was a street. Oh, Jesus, Sloan. Oh God. Okay, Sloan. Okay, Sloan. I like your new profile picture, by the way, sir. Okay, my main woman was a street WHORE in the DR when I met her. She had no father, toxic life. In a rat's nest ghetto. I said, I got you. All of it. Toxicity gone now for 4 years. Women need a real man. Her therapy was me. Love your show, Queen, and your transparency for others. I love you too, Sloan. And this is a Sloan-like story. Of course, I love your story, Sloan. Just like you have, I should have you on as a guest on the show, because you just be having the best, you be having the most interesting stories, and you love you some DR women, boy. You like you some Hispanic women over there. I love it. So he's basically saying that his love for his woman ended up softening the toxicity that she was experiencing because she was in the streets. And for him to love her and take care of her, despite what other people may think about her or not, I'm sure overwhelmed her with gratitude, and she just now doesn't have any of that towards him. And so his love for her and his ability to see past some things that other people wouldn't be able to look through, really did do something for her. So thank you, Sloan, for sharing that love does conquer all. So in that situation, but Sloan, I will also say this though. I think that in this situation as well, she had the desire to no longer be what she had been. Right? So there was an aspect of her that said, I know this is good. I'm not going to mess this up. I'm not going to make him suffer for people that have hurt me in the past. Right? I think that's that's what I believe. I believe that y'all be cracking me up in the chat, boy. I tell you what, y'all be cracking me up in the chat. Um, yes, but I'm saying she had the desire. Sloan was loving her, or she was like, listen, this is a good thing. I ain't gonna mess it up. Here's the thing, you guys. The problem is a lot of us don't have that same wisdom. We have a good thing, right? But we don't have the wisdom or people that we interface with, because we all have. Y'all, let me slow down. How many of y'all have been in a relationship with someone who you treated so well? So well. You treated them better than anybody else in their life. And you know that for a fact. And yet, they still treated you terrible. You still had to get the brunt for what they experienced in their past. How many of y'all have dealt with that? I want to see some ones in the chat. I want to see some ones in the chat. Not terrible, but was taken for granted. Okay. I see you. Elevation show with Trisha. She said, yep, right here. Yes, 100%. Dad cheat on her mom. Pamela saying yes. A lot of folks don't make bad decisions. Habitual bad decision makers. Oh, come on, Charles, with the wisdom. I like that. I like that. Go ahead, Charles. Speak your truth, sir. Lanaya saying yes, one. Happy Life said one. So there's a lot of people that are like, listen, I have suffered with someone who has had a troubled childhood. And I've had to suffer the consequences for something I did not cause. I became a punching bag to a person that I loved and wanted to love through the pain. But that person was not receptive to my love. Because it doesn't just take, y'all, it does not just take love. It takes a willingness to change. Take Sloan, for instance. He offered love. He offered provision. But she offered a willingness to not do things the same way. She offered, like, I know where I come from and I know what I've experienced. This is a good thing. I'm not going to mess this up. That's a willingness to change. That's a willingness to say, I know what this is and I ain't going to mess this up. But Terry, to your point, they realize it when you leave. They realize it when it's too late. And hopefully they can take accountability for it then. Sometimes they can't. So guys, we're going to go over some things. I want to go over the ACEs. So as a therapist, when we are in schools, there's a thing called ACEs. It's called Adverse Childhood Experiences. This is a scale that we measure children on as far as what they've experienced and their likelihood to develop certain sensitivities and disorders later on in life, right? Okay, so that's called the ACEs. And here are the ACEs. I'm going to list them out for you. Number 1 is physical abuse. Number 2 is verbal. Number 3 is sexual. Number 4 is physical neglect. Number 5 is emotional neglect. Number 6 is alcoholic parents. Number 7 is victims of domestic abuse. Number 8 is family members with mental illness. Number 9 is the disappearance of a parent, whether through a divorce, abandonment, or death. And number 10, a family member in prison. So those are all adverse childhood experiences. That is the scale that you're rated on, right? And so here are 8 signs. Y'all, you know how we talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. Get out your pen and paper. Let's get into it, family. Let's get into it. We've got 8 signs of repressed childhood trauma in adults. Y'all ready? So here's number 1. Here's number 1. Strong, unexplained reactions to specific people. So again, strong, unexplained reactions to specific people. It's when your mind and body warn you that a person isn't safe, even though you don't know them. As a result, you may feel your body shift into a more protective stance, or you may have a strong desire to leave the situation, but you don't know why. This reaction may be because that person reminds you of someone who caused you pain in the past. Okay? Did we get that, y'all? So when someone has a strong velocity saying, listen, I'm dealing with this right now. Okay, be real in the chat. Let's be real, y'all. Somebody said this is like a therapy session. Y'all, we gonna grow on this. We are Game Changer Nation. We gonna change the game. There's people that have no idea. They are a walking reaction and have no idea that they're actually dealing with repressed childhood trauma. They are a walking reaction. They are literally reacting to everything and everybody. And the people around them have no idea what that is. And the only way that anybody can do anything about it is taking accountability and acknowledging. Okay? So anyway. So that's number 1. Number 2, lack of ease in certain places. Places also can induce feelings of stress, fear, and anxiety in someone repressing memories of childhood trauma. When you first had your traumatizing experience, your brain made notes of everything: the color, the smells, and the sounds. Being in a place similar to your repressed childhood memories may trigger that fear deep within you and cause you to get into flight or fight mode. No, Lars, I disagree. I disagree with this. Y'all, I got to stop. I disagree with this. I disagree with this. You don't need therapy. You need Jesus. He can take it all away. This is the problem with the church. This is the problem with the church. Do I think that Jesus can do all things? Absolutely. Do I think that I believe that God can do anything. There's nothing that God can do. He is limitless in his ability and his power. But God has also created therapists. I know that to be true, because he even tells us to seek wise counsel. And if we only needed Jesus, he wouldn't tell us to go seek wise counsel as well. That was in the New Testament. And we have a lot of people that use this church narrative of, oh, all you need is Jesus. All you need is Jesus. No, you need a therapist too. That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes Jesus created these people to help you. And yes, use your discernment. But a lot of times we just sit around praying for God to do something, and we are unwilling to do anything about it. You got to do something about your stuff too. I remember one time, y'all, I was sitting crying in the bed, y'all, crying in the bed, sad, devastated, depressed. Depressed. And me being sad, devastated, and depressed, I remember I heard God so clearly. I heard him so clearly. He said to me in that bed, he said, move. You know what? Move. You've been praying long enough. Move. Move. Move, Sam. Move. You got to move. You got to move. My daughter's having way too much fun, y'all. I'm sorry. It's in James. I know it's in James. Hold on, Amber. I see that. James 2:26. It reads, for as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. James in that chapter, though, I know that we utilize it in certain things, but James is actually talking about people that say that they are Christian and people that say that they believe in God, but they don't do good things. They don't have good works. And so their life is not a reflection of the love that Jesus shown for people as well. And so he was talking about your works should be a reflection of your belief. Like, you can't say you believe something and you don't have the fruits of the Spirit that grow up in your life. And the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, and self-control. If those things are not present in your life, he's like, well, I have to question your faith, because you say you believe something, but if I was to look at your life and I don't see none of these things growing, I have to question your faith. Right? So anyway, besides the point. The whole point is, though, guys, is that when we know we need something, when we acknowledge there's nothing wrong with therapy. Nothing wrong with therapy. Okay? Nothing wrong with therapy. Let's keep going. So number three, extreme emotional shifts. Controlling emotions is difficult at the best of times. For those suffering from repressed childhood trauma, it is an even more difficult battle. If you have unaddressed ACEs, you may find that you are extremely upset by the everyday actions of others. So if you are dealing with someone, or if you are somebody that has extreme emotional shifts where just ordinary things can completely throw you off, you may be dealing with repressed trauma. Like, something can automatically snap you into anxiety, automatically snap you into feeling unsure or stressed, or you start to sweat, or you're like you start to get angry or aggressive, or you get tearful and super emotional. You may be dealing with some repression, right? Attachment issues is number 4. So people that have experienced childhood trauma have abandonment issues. They may have an intense fear of abandonment. There's a lot of reasons for this. I'm not going to get into that. But you might find yourself becoming intentionally attached to other people and feel highly upset or highly emotional about them leaving. That may be because of childhood trauma. Anxiety. So everybody experiences anxiety, y'all. That is not an unusual thing to experience anxiety. We live in a society today that, oh, we shouldn't be anxious, we shouldn't be afraid. No, anxiety is very normal. Everybody deals with a level of anxiety. It just depends on how debilitating it is and how it manifests in your life, whether it manifests in panic attacks or other things like that, okay? But anxiety in and of itself is not a sign that there's something wrong with you, okay? But there are varying levels of it, and that's where it can get unhealthy and get into a different characterization. So people and this is what it says, those who have repressed childhood memories may experience more anxiety than others. Once you start uncovering your repressed trauma with an experienced mental health professional, and be able to, decide, see the ties between your anxiety and that. Okay. So again, it takes us doing the work, right? But if we're not doing the work, that means we may be experiencing all this anxiety and not really understanding that there is something more to it that we need to go in and process, okay? Number 6, childish reactions. Moments of immaturity and childish outbursts are typical. But when you find people that go into a childlike state, or even acting out like a teenager, more frequently than not, having tantrums, more frequently than not, you might be experiencing or dealing with somebody that has some has some repressed things going on. Number 7 is consistent exhaustion. There's a lot of subconscious energy that's put into repressed memories that have not been processed with a professional. And so, unfortunately, there are people that may be consistently tired, unable to focus on anything for very long, just ruminating on what caused them trauma. Just can't get out of it. Can't get out of it. Number 8, last but not least, you guys, is unable to cope in normal stressful situations. So people that have an inability to cope with these everyday events and often lash out or hide. So you'll find that people that are experiencing just regular day-to-day things, they may become highly upset. Y'all, I actually have a story. This is me being honest. Amber was present for the story. So y'all, I was going through something at the time, right? Going through a breakup, if you will, one of the most significant ones I've ever had to go through. And Amber was at my spot, and I could not find lashes, y'all. I could not find my lashes. And y'all, I get hysterical because I cannot find these daggone lashes. I mean, I am going nuts. I am literally, I can laugh about it now, but I was going bananas. Okay. And y'all, it was unreasonable. Lashgate, we call it Lashgate now. It was that bad. What was I actually dealing with? I was actually dealing with processing a significant breakup in my life. But I acted out in a way on lashes that were very normal. That's not a big deal. But that wasn't really what I was upset about. What I was upset about, what was actually going on internally. You see what I'm saying? And so when you're dealing with different things in our lives, you'll see that people that have certain stresses that are going on, they're on edge, right? They're on edge. They're not just dealing with the day-to-day occurrences that are happening between you and them. They're dealing with other things that are on their mind. Amber says she was scared. It was bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not one of my prouder moments, but it was definitely because I was dealing with other things. Amber knows that too, but I was dealing with other things. But again, it was just me not having control over a certain variable in my life. Amber, stop, bro, stop. Do not do that. She is crazy. So whatever, girl. She said she was scared. She was not scared. She was not scared. She went and got me some lashes. But again, it wasn't about the lashes, y'all. It was not about the lashes. It was about what I was actually dealing with internally. And until I got through that, I had these unexplained reactions to things that had nothing to do with what I was actually dealing with. Okay? And that's how it is being with someone that has trauma that they're not processing, they're not handling, which is why I'm going to reiterate as we get into another topic, y'all. I'm going to another, we're gonna land the plane here, and then I got another fun video for us to process, y'all. But that's why I say to you guys, it's so important for us to heal. It's not anyone's responsibility to heal you. You are responsible for you. Now, the things that have happened to you may not be your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. And if you are somebody that is dealing with these situations, male or female, to anybody that's dealing with anything, when it comes to dating and you dating people, it is not your responsibility. Hear me very clearly. It is not your responsibility to deal with people's bad behavior. I don't care what the excuse is. I don't care what the external, you do not need to be somebody's punching bag. You do not need to be abused. You do not need to be dealing with anybody's negative behaviors because of their story. We all got a story, but that does not give them the right to enact certain things on you and bad behaviors on you. That does not give them the right to do that. No one should be talking. Y'all, I'm going to get into it, and I don't want to get into it. I see, I'm going to put Sloan's thing up here. I'm going to finish my thought. No one has the right to talk to you verbally out of your name, tear you down, disparage you, try to pick you apart, pick out insecurities. They don't have the right to manipulate you. They don't have the right to put their hands on you. They don't have the right to enact some type of a control over you. No one has the right to do that to you. No one. I don't care what they've experienced in their childhood, whether they're hyper controlling, or they need to be in control of all the variables, or they're very negative towards you, or they're always putting you down and not making you feel your best. No one has the right. No one has the right. No one has the right to do that to you. And it is a red flag, blaring red flag to me, when someone has experienced certain things in their life, but have not done their work. There's too many options to handle work, whether you do it in the church, whether you do it spiritually, whether you do therapy, whether you do a combination of all three. Whatever you decide to do to heal, that is on you. There ain't nobody's responsibility to deal with your bad behavior. And if somebody that you've talked to or have dealt with or are talking to now out here treating you a certain kind of way because of how they was raised and they did this and that, no, I'm sorry, gotta go. No. Don't even get into that trap of placating that, enabling that. I can understand you've been through some things. I can understand you done been hurt. I can understand that. But what we're not going to do is that I'm not going to be the punching bag to the things that you refuse to deal with. That's what I'm not going to do. Now, if you're working on it, cool. But if you're not working on it and you just want me to deal with it because you always been this way, you're going to have to find somebody else. Find somebody else to do it. Not you, not Game Changer Nation. No, we're going to hold you accountable. Now, you can do whatever you want to do with this information, but don't say I didn't tell you. You're dealing with some trauma. You need to go work it out. Okay, sorry. Sloan is in here. Thank you, Sloan. Thank you, Sloan. Thank you, Sloan. So Sloan has a question. Sam, question for you. You have a lot of wisdom through experiences in your career. We admire your honesty. Where do you find yourself now? Where do you think you need to still grow and be ready for a serious relationship or marriage? And the man, what are the top 3 things he needs? Big questions. Yeah, you giving me some real questions, Sloan, and I'm going to answer every one of them for you, okay? Just for you. So y'all sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is going to be one of them episodes, y'all. Okay. So where do I find myself now? I find myself now, you guys, if I'm being honest, still doing the work. I find myself now, I think the biggest thing for me is that y'all, I think God has me in a season where I just don't, there was a time in my life where I would date people or go on dates with people or, spend time with people. And it's like, I knew even prior to me going on the date or spending time with this person, that there was no future here, right? They're just like, it's like, oh, why not? I'm single. Let me just see what's going on. Let me see what's out here. Knowing internally, like, this may not be the situation for me. And I think I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm not doing that. I feel like my time is way more valuable. So if something is not what it needs to be, or if I'm looking from a situation, I feel like I'm learning, like, okay, I'm not going to just engage in something just to engage with it. It's got to make sense. My time is valuable and I've got to treat it as such. I can't just give it to everybody. And I think in the past, I didn't value my time like I should have. And so I don't just engage with everybody. I've gotten really comfortable with being by myself. I've gotten really comfortable cooking and doing things for me, like getting excited about a recipe and coming home and making it for myself. I've gotten okay. I've gotten so good with me that if I am going to take time out of my schedule to spend time with someone else, it's got to make sense for me. It's got to make sense for me. It's got to be somebody that I think is like, okay, this could actually be something, you know? So, where do you still think you need to still grow and be ready for a relationship or marriage? Whew. I think the place that I really do need to grow the most, my pride. If I'm being honest, my pride, ego. Um, I'm one to I am one to when I love somebody and I allow them to have access to me, when they hurt me, it hits deep. And the way that it hits deep for me is that I don't know how to rebound from pain, right? So when you hit me, you hurt me, or hit me. When I say hit me, I mean hurt me, like with your words. If I'm if I'm offended or hurt by you, I shut down. That's it. It's like I shut down. It's like, all right, I'm out of here. We done. We good. I'm out. And I run away. I'm avoidant. I can become somebody that like walks away from things, and that's an area that I am still working on myself on, because it's my way of protecting myself from being hurt even more. And y'all, I mean, I've been hurt a lot. I've been betrayed by people I never thought I'd be betrayed by. And so for me, it's like it's very, very hard, because the biggest test that we learn and see throughout the Bible is forgiveness. Jesus, and this is my thought process, this is my faith, is that the Joseph and David and Jesus, as we see later on in the Bible, the biggest thing that they ever did, or the biggest test that they ever had to face, involved forgiveness. Forgiving, not taking revenge, and loving anyway. Praying for your enemies, praying for the people that have hurt you. And when you talk about a marriage, I remember somebody telling me, you become professional forgivers. Professional forgivers. Because the person that you marry, it has the ability and the access to hurt you in ways that no one else can. And that's an area where I really, really need to grow. Because allowing somebody access and being hurt and opening myself up again for them to hurt me again, and then I open myself up again for them to hurt me again and again, And again, like that is something that is an area that I need to work on still, is being able to, uh, being a professional forgiver and not, running away because it hurts, but, getting back in the ring and putting the gloves on and fighting again. That's something that I struggle with. That's a real honest answer, y'all. That's a real honest answer, okay? That's a real honest answer. Woo-wee. All right. And the man. What are top 3 things he needs? Big questions. Um, One thing that I need from a person that I would consider in a relationship is definitely like we have to share the same faith. And that's something he needs, because the way I speak, the things that I do, what I post, how I like, even my daily practices, you'd have to understand where I'm coming from spiritually. You'd have to we have to be aligned in that. So that's definitely something that's important to me. Um, Especially as much as I talk about Jesus, if you don't believe in Jesus, that's gonna be real hard, hard for you. Number 2 is somebody who is um somebody that I feel like is a leader, has that leader energy, leads his life well, and I can see he's a competent, good, strong leader. I want to be led, and I want to be led well. And so that is something that is very paramount for me. It is a leader. The third thing I would say is stable and secure. So somebody that is stable and secure in all areas. Stable and secure in all areas. Because here's what I'll say about this. You can have somebody with a whole lot of money, right? And they have a lot of money. But if somebody is not secure, they will live their life and think of themselves as always broke. They're still living in a very insecure place. They're not okay with where they are in life. They're in competition with the world. And so if you're lashing out and reacting to the world in a way where everybody's competition, you against the world, that's not a healthy way to live either. It's a broke mindset. Exactly, Michael. It's a broke mindset. You can have all the money in the world and have no peace, which to me means you're not secure. You ain't got no peace. You're not wealthy. Wealthy, you can have money and not experience some of the main aspects of life that you need in order to like live life well. Um, and so I say that like for that. Stable and secure. Like I'm secure with me. I'm okay with you, I'm okay with not with you, but okay with you having a platform, okay with you being known, okay with what you're doing. I'm so secure with myself that you can still do what you're doing. And I'm not emotionally like, oh, is she more successful than me, and make it a competition. Like it doesn't have to be that. It can just be, we winning together. We're a team. Like I'm not going to be in competition with you. I want somebody to not be in competition with me. Or, anything like that. I want somebody to be secure with where their walk is in life, what they're doing, that they're walking in purpose. I'm walking in purpose too. But those are the 3 that I got right now. Those are 3 that I got right now. All right, y'all. That was quite some questions. I'm gonna play this clip because I promised to play this clip. But I want to appreciate you guys for allowing me the ability to can you be certain that the work is done and you can get into a new relationship? Hillary asked a really great question. I might just play this clip tomorrow. Can you be certain that the work is done and you can get into a new relationship? Here's the thing for me as far as work. Work is never done. Your healing journey never stops. You don't get to a place where I'm like, oh, I'm healed 100%. Like, no, you're healing and you're always healing because there's always something to heal from. Life will continue to be life. You know what I'm saying? Life be lifing. And it's going to keep lifing until we no longer are here. And so I don't think you get to a place of like healed, I'm delivered. It's more like, okay, as I've done my work and as I'm dealing with people and interacting with people, I may find more things that I need to work on, and I work on those things, but I think when it comes to healing, for me, the barometer is like, am I living life like a reaction? Am I choosing people off of pain? Thank you, Michael. Y'all, I'm sorry. Ooh. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Thank you for y'all support tonight. This is a great show, y'all. By the way, this is a powerful show. I love this questions. I love where this went. Like, this is it. This is good. Okay. But yeah, so if I'm living life like a reaction, it looks like this. I'm choosing people off of what I didn't have in my last relationship. So if my last relationship with somebody was a cheater, the first thing I'm going to look for is someone that doesn't cheat. That's my main criteria. I'm not taking into account the entire being. I'm only thinking about the one thing that I was hurt in the past that I'm looking for in the future. Where you'll find yourself, I talk to women all the time, like, well, he don't cheat on me, but he fill in the blank. Well, you don't do this. I mean, my last relationship, they did this. So you now just getting somebody better than what you had before. But that doesn't necessarily make it good. And that's just somebody better than what you had. And so to me, you chose off of pain. You didn't choose off of clarity. Because if you chose off of clarity, you would have looked at the entire package, not just the points of pain. And that's how you are in life. If you are in life and you are reacting to people and different things like that, and they're constantly being compared to your ex, you haven't healed. If everything goes back to your ex, you haven't healed from that. Or everything goes back to the things that happened in your childhood, you haven't healed. When you react to something, well, my ex did this, or my mama did that, or my daddy did it. If it's always goes back to you end up bringing somebody from the present moment to your past, you haven't healed yet, sis. We not there. We not there. And the thing is, we think that if we distract ourselves enough and we get consumed with the things of this world enough, that eventually we will heal and forget about it. Time does not heal all. I know people that has been 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, years. We're not talking about months, years since the actual situation has occurred that has caused them pain. And they can cry about it like it happened yesterday. They talk about it like it happened a month ago. I know people that has been 10, 15, 20 years still emotionally affected by their past, can get angry about it in an instant. Because I don't only look at the emotion of sadness. The anger is a telling emotion because it's like I'm not willing to be vulnerable. I'm angry because that's my protection. That's my mask. That's insecurity playing dress up. I'm going to put this mask on and I'm going to talk about the situation like I'm angry and hateful, but really deep down I'm hurting. But I'm unwilling to make myself vulnerable again because I don't want to get hurt again. That's the last thing I want. So I put on the mask of anger and hatefulness when really deep down inside I'm struggling. Really deep down inside I'm trying to find a way to not think about what I'm actually thinking about. And at some point it doesn't work. You can't distract yourself. You cannot distract yourself away into healing. Distracting is distracting. Healing is healing. They're two completely different processes. And until you take the time, you really, truly take the time, to deal with what you're actually dealing with, you're not going to be healing. You're going to just be wasting time. You'll just be wasting time. That's it. Hillary says, what she say? Doesn't that mean that getting into a new relationship becomes more of a dare as you continue to work? It does. Hillary, I would argue that getting into relationships are always a risk. It's always a risk. But if you are going into a relationship hurt and you haven't healed, there's going to be more guards up to get to you. That person's not really getting to you if you haven't healed. They're met with all these different walls protecting you from getting hurt the same way again. Right? So I would argue that, yes, it's always a risk and it's always a dare, if you will. But I think that when you come into it with a healthy mindset and you come into it having done some of your work, you will actually allow somebody in order for you to even experience a fulfilling relationship. Otherwise, they're just a distraction. It's almost like you bought a toy from Target and put it in your house. But that's about as effective as getting into a relationship when you're not healthy. The toy's just going to sit there while you ruminate about the last relationship, what happened, what didn't happen, what they did, what they didn't do, how I was, why I should have done differently, did this, that. You're going to be here. This person's going to be sitting there watching you like, okay, so they just don't see me. No, they don't see you because they haven't done enough work to see you and to allow you to experience them. They should have dealt with their stuff before they got with you. Real talk. And that's what I'm saying to everybody on this live. You know, the power of the Holy Spirit that emanates from Jah alone until he removes it from under his heavenly rule. Hey, Robert Richards, what's going on, sir? How you doing? Exactly. It's not time. If that there's anything that you can get from this, it's quality time. It's not time. I can be broken for the rest of my life. Time didn't heal me. Intentional effort and energy healed me. Antoine asked a question. This is going to be my last question for the night, you guys. How would you deal with someone who knows your past and uses that every time against you in an argument or when you try to do something for you? I wouldn't be dealing with that person, Antoine. I wouldn't be dealing with that person. So when you say, how do you? I wouldn't be dealing with that person. Because that person is utilizing and weaponizing your past and what they know about you to manipulate you into doing what they want you to do. That's emotional manipulation. So that means to me, that type of person doesn't deserve access to me if I've found them to be manipulative. That they're utilizing their access to me and what they know about me to manipulate me. Y'all, that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't like being manipulated. That's one way. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. When I find that I'm manipulated, I'm out. Audi 3000, I'm gone. When I find that I'm manipulated, I can't do emotional manipulation. Get thee behind me, Satan. Hello, Wold Pursue Music. I'm not playing that game. I don't like being, that is something I cannot do. I cannot be manipulated is not my thing. Manipulation is not my thing. Do not. And so when in this situation, Antoine, it burns me up because we obviously have been rocking together for a while on the lives. I know a little bit about you. And to me, nah, no. When someone is utilizing their past, that means I will not be dealing. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I'm sorry. That's we not. That person deserves less access to you because they've shown that they are irresponsible with the access that you've given them. So now access has to be denied. Access has to be denied. Period. In my opinion. Yeah, Audi 3000. We out of there. We out of there. Audi 3000. All right, you guys, I am done for tonight. We have rocked the mic for 90 minutes. And y'all, this was an incredible show. If you guys have more questions, I've seen people say that they have more questions in the chat. No, Antoine, I'm sorry. Do not allow them to make you doubt. That is the purpose. That is the enemy. No, do not make them isolated to other people. That person was irresponsible with their access. Do not put that on other people. Let them go. And so, you guys, we are going live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got a good show. We are talking, I think tomorrow we're talking about chasing versus pursuing. What is the difference? How do you chase a woman? What's the kind of, and how does a woman chase a man or pursue a man? We're going to talk about all that tomorrow. What makes women push away? What kind of first move can you make? We're going to talk about all that tomorrow. So be sure to tune in 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we talk about chasing versus pursuing. I'm out of here. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for rocking with me the way that you do. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you've seen tonight. Hit the like button. It's free. And again, we are probably one of the fastest growing nations on the internet, on the YouTube space right now, and I don't want you to miss a beat. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and yeah, we gonna see you guys tomorrow. Okay, love y'all. Bye bye.